Hey everyone, I am Shauna. I'm one of the dietitians and I'm the program coordinator. Thank you for joining us for our November support group. As we were trying to think of topics for this month's support group, we were thinking about just seasons in life, seeing as the holiday seasons are coming upon us. And seasons can mean anything from holidays to seasons of job changes, whether that's a different job, a change in just your job position, shift hours, or hour changes in schedules. It could be seasons of traveling, seasons of visiting family members. It could be seasons of illness or stress, and seasons of moving, if you're moving and changing homes. So these seasons of change, we really want to just emphasize how it's important to plan ahead for them. While some seasons can blindside us and we can't prepare for, the ones that we can prepare for, we want to try to do that. So I prepared just a short presentation for a few minutes that you can join us and just watch some tips on how to prepare for some of those seasons.
Preparing for seasons. So this is some of the things that I mentioned here as far as when to prep ahead. Holidays, a pretty obvious one, especially at this time of year. Traveling. I know there's not quite as much traveling going on, but this could mean even weekend trips to visit family or going to see friends. So anything from big travels to small travels. Hectic schedules and to-do lists. For instance, kids' sports. Times when you have several kids in several sports, or even yourself, you're involved in some activities, whether it's gym time or other sports. Social and family events. Moving. This is a really big one. Kitchens are out of commission when you're moving. There's boxes everywhere. You don't always know where things are. And obviously it's a very hectic schedule. So planning ahead for moves is very important. Work hour changes or just routine changes, whether that's routines with your kids or whether that's routines for yourself, your whole family. And then any type of transition, whether it's a job transition, whether it's a transition in life in general. So these are all things that we want to be prepping ahead for. And I know there's a lot more, but these are some of the main ones. I'll start with prepping for the holidays since that season is coming up. These are just some reminders of things that we do have control over and can do. Bring healthy side dishes when it's a bring your own or if it's a potluck. Send home tempting leftovers if you are hosting. Make sure you're sending home anything that you know will be a temptation. Give away baked goods or just save a little bit of what you make and then give the rest away. Or believe it or not, throwing it away isn't going to hurt anyone either once you get that taste of what you like. And then instead of making baked good gifts, if you're one that likes to bake cookies or likes to bake different desserts, consider jarred soups or chilies as gifts. I think a lot of people appreciate those types of things because it's an actual meal. I know baking cookies is fun, especially if you have kids and that's a tradition that you like to do. But just something else to consider, some jarred soups and chili, that could be a good gift. And then finally, keep countertops clear of temptations. Keeping healthy foods in the house even over the holidays. I know the one on the right looks very tempting and appealing. The one on the left, not as quick to maybe grab one of those as a snack, but if that's all that's there, that is what you will go for. So keep those tempting foods either hidden or out of the house. And fill up your plate with fruits and veggies when you are at social events, just so the rest of your meal won't be quite as heavy in calories. So then moving on to prepping for time away or hectic schedules, this could be either one. Plan for your return. I know it's kind of silly to think, well, we're going to be away. You can always plan as much as you can for while you're away, whether that's looking up healthy options at the restaurants you're going to, or if you're making your own meals, make sure your place that you're staying at least has some healthy options. But planning for your return is not something we all think to do, especially when we're just ready to get going. Stock your pantry before you leave with some of these quick things so that when you come home, you have them available for at least the first few days until you get to the grocery store. So stocking your pantry, you can fill it with canned chicken or tuna. Very easy for several different options. Canned beans, or jarred salsa, which can be a nice condiment to mix into other things. Canned veggies or canned tomatoes. Tomatoes can be very versatile. And then, of course, stock your fridge. Eggs, they last a long time in the fridge. Cheeses last a long time. Fresh veggie steam bags. So the fresh bags, and I have a visual for one of those. They are in the produce section, and they are bags of either fresh green beans, fresh cut up broccoli, fresh stir fried vegetables, fresh cauliflower and broccoli mixed. So these last often over a week in the fridge. So always look at your sell by dates, but having a couple of those in your fridge for when you get back, then you know you have a healthy veggie waiting. Pre-cooked chicken or turkey sausage, that's a really easy one, and there's some really good flavored different flavors and different brands out there now that are really tasty. And then low carb wraps, of course, they will last for a while in the fridge, and you can use any of the proteins above to put in your wraps. And then having your freezer stocked. These are some of the things that I like to stock my freezer with. Alfresco is my favorite chicken sausage. Any pre-cooked chicken or turkey sausage is great. Frozen turkey meatballs, frozen turkey burgers, frozen steam bag veggies. They only take 3 or 4 minutes in the microwave. Frozen riced cauliflower. That can be very versatile for making stir fries. And then you can also freeze low carb wraps if they're on sale. Buy one, get one. You can always freeze some, keep some in the fridge. Frozen pepper and onion strips, that's an easy one that's very versatile as well. And then I have a picture here. This is not my freezer. I wish I could do this kind of thing, prep my meals and stock them all in the fridge and freezer. But I know some of you are very good at doing this. But anytime you make something, a big crock pot full of chili or big soups and chicken, beef, vegetable types of things, you can always freeze them in individual servings and get those out whenever it's time. If you get back from a trip and don't have anything to eat. All right, so these are some of my go-tos for when I am going to be away for a weekend or a few days and I want to have meals available when I get home, as opposed to just saying, oh, let's just get takeout. It's very tempting to do. I know that, especially when you have kiddos and it's coming home and getting ready for the week or whatever that might look like. But some quick things to go for. Chicken sausage, I mentioned Alfresco is a brand that I really like. You can do minute rice if you want to. I often just do riced cauliflower for myself and minute rice for the family. And then you can add some steamed veggies. So this meal takes 10 minutes, maybe not even. Well, if you use the minute rice that's brown, it does take 10 minutes. And then you have your steam in a bag veggies, the broccoli and cauliflower, and that takes 4.5 minutes in the microwave. And then the chicken sausage, you can just put it in the microwave, but I like to put it in just a little non-stick skillet with some cooking spray and just warm it that way. So that's one quick meal. Here's another one that I like to go to and have in my freezer and fridge at all time. Turkey burgers, if you have a head of lettuce does last pretty long in the fridge, by the way. But that is an optional item. But you can have your turkey burger, and then you can have a fresh steam in a bag green beans. That takes 4.5 minutes in the microwave. And the turkey burgers take about 10 to 15 minutes on the grill. So that might be a little bit longer of a meal prep. But again, it's right there. It's very easy. And then finally, here's another one that I like to go to. I like chicken meatballs. So these you can freeze them or you can have them fresh. This is one of the brands that I really like, Adele's. Riced cauliflower and a can of diced tomatoes. You can add in any other seasonings you like to make it more exciting, but this is a really quick go-to. Again, this takes less than 10 minutes to make. I put some other options down there that you can add in. You can stir fry some of these frozen pepper and onion strips, or you can add a little bit of low sugar tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce, to make it more of a kind of pasta tasting dish, whatever you like. So those are some of my go-tos. One more thing about as you are planning for some of these transitions, thinking about your past experiences. So what happened last year? What happened last holiday season, the last time we traveled, the last transition in life? What did I do that I want to improve on? So I think we all can think back to, last holiday season, this happened, or I struggled with weight gain when this happened. And think back to those times and what you learned and what you can do different this time. Think about how you felt afterwards last time, and wanting to avoid that can be a motivator in setting your goals. So what can you do differently this year as you look forward to the holiday season or towards a trip or travel or social events? How can you do things differently this year? And I know things look differently this year for many reasons, but even so, we still want to prepare as much as we can.
So those were just a few tips and ideas. And very important to all of those things is goal setting. So keep in mind, we want to set SMART goals. Reminder of what SMART means: they are specific, they are measurable, they are attainable and realistic, relevant to what we're trying to do, and time bound. So having a specific time. So make goals, put them up so they're visual to yourself. You can even print out some of these ideas or write your lists of some of the things that you might have seen that you want to keep in mind through these next upcoming seasons. I want to end with just some tips. When I was asking my 5-year-old son if he had any advice for people planning ahead for the holidays to make sure we stay healthy through the holidays, these were some of his tips that I thought were kind of cute that I would share. He said and we were talking Halloween because he said that's the first holiday. I said, yeah. Only eat your favorite candy and then throw the rest away. I thought that was very good. Why waste calories on some of those candy that really isn't that good? Remember, it could hurt your belly if you eat too much. He has experienced that before. If you want cookies, just have 1 or 2 little ones. And then this was his last one. He said, if you want both cake and a cookie at a party, just maybe have a cookie one day and a piece of cake the next day. I said, that's very good advice, Sawyer. Thank you. So I want to wish you all a great season, whatever season you're in, a good season ahead. And thanks for joining us, and have a great November.
Hi, my name is Jill Kennett, and in October, well actually almost a year from now, 4 years ago in 2016, Dr. Koo did a sleeve surgery on me that absolutely changed my life. I am happy that you are all watching this, and hopefully that you are ready to start on your own journeys, because my journey has been one that I would never go back and do again. I have the same backstory that many of you have. I had tried every diet out there. I had been overweight almost my entire adult life, and nothing worked. It would work. It's not that I don't have willpower. I could lose 40 to 50 pounds on every diet I ever tried, but then I would give up and I would gain not only that 40 or 50 pounds, but an extra 10, and it just kept going higher and higher and higher, and I'm sure you've all been there. And I had hit a low. I was higher than I had ever been in my life. I was miserable. My blood pressure was up. My cholesterol levels were up. I was going to be put on cholesterol medication. My knees were giving out. I could barely walk. I was still able to bike, but I could barely get around. And I had decided this is it. And I knew about this place, and I had a friend, coworker, who had sleeve surgery and seemed to be doing well with it, but in my mind, I thought of that as the easy way out. And I'm sure you have heard that from many, many people, and maybe family and friends are saying to you, yeah, but you can do it on your own. And no, I can't. I was an adult and had been an adult for a long time, and I obviously cannot do it on my own, and I needed some help. And that's when I decided to take the step. It was back in April of 2016 that I decided, okay, I'm coming in, made an appointment, and I never looked back. I had actually lost 10 pounds before that appointment in April, and I was feeling really good about myself because I said, you know what, this 10 pounds is never coming back. And then I found out that my insurance company was going to make me wait for 6 months. Other people were going to be able to do it in 3 months. I was going to have to wait for 6 months, and I'm not an extremely patient person, so that was not very good news to me. But I decided, okay, well, that's 6 more months that I can lose more weight before I start this surgery. And Dr. Koo had told me that the lower I get before it, the better the surgery will go and the easier it'll be afterwards. So I decided, okay, I'm going to try doing everything that I have to do after the diet, before the diet. So I went out and I got my small plates, I got my small forks and spoons. I stopped eating when I wasn't seated. I was trying to eat mindfully. I was not drinking water. That's a biggie. Start not drinking water now if you're just starting this process when you're eating, because that's a hard thing to break. We're always used to eating and drinking at the same time. I ate my proteins first, then I ate my vegetables and tried to cut back on carbs beforehand. And I actually ended up losing almost 50 pounds before my surgery, counting the 10 that I had lost before. So I was feeling much better, and again, I was so excited because I said to myself, you know, this is never coming back. This is not going to come back. And I came, the very first support meeting I came to, and most of you are going to have to come to one. Now, luckily, I didn't have to do it online like all of you are having to do. I was able to come into the building and come to a support group meeting, but that was a huge bonus for me because at my first meeting, I sat beside a woman that I got to talk to and found out that we had so much in common. We were the same age, had a lot of the same background. When she had come to her first meeting, she told me she was wearing size 22 jeans. I was sitting there that night wearing size 22 jeans. Her blood pressure was high, her cholesterol was high, her knees were bothering her, and we just had so much in common. And when she told me that she was wearing size 8 jeans that night, it hit home big time. I thought, she was wearing the exact same size jeans I'm wearing, and now she is wearing size 8. And I thought, size 8, that'll never happen. I'll be fine if I get down to size 14 or get down to size 12. I'll never be at size 8. Well, little did I know that I'm in front of you today wearing size 6 jeans. So believe it, it can happen for you. But it is not easy. All those people that thought it was easy, and myself included, it's not easy. This is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And it is lifelong. My surgery was 4 years ago, and I still continue to fight on a daily basis. It is not easy. I still love food. I'm addicted to food, and it's something I have to fight on a daily basis. Once you have your surgery, you're in the honeymoon phase, and it really is kind of easy for most people, and as long as you follow your doctor's orders and do what they say, the weight is going to pretty much fall off on a regular basis. And you're going to think, wow, yeah, this is easy. Now, you're going to be miserable at first because you have to go on a liquid diet and you're going to miss out on all the food. But you're going to be thinking, get on that scale and go, oh, wow, I only ate liquids, but look at me, look at my weight is down. And if you're a numbers person like I am, that scale was really important to me. And as I continued to lose the weight, I got happier and I got healthier. I used to never think I could ever run because I basically could not walk. And I told people that run, I have a brother that runs marathons, and I said, the only time I'm ever gonna run is if something big, hairy, and scary is chasing me. Well, as the weight came off, I walked more and more, and my knees were doing better. And one day I said, you know what? I'm gonna try running on the treadmill. And I ran for 1 minute. And I thought, okay, so the next day I'm gonna run for 2 minutes. And when I got myself up to 10 minutes of running, I started running outside. And I thought, okay, people can see me now because I'm not gonna stop right away. So I went out and I ran outside. And by the time it was all said and done, I was actually running 5Ks. And I went an entire year, I ran a 5K every month for a year. Now, needless to say, my knees did finally give out on me, and this Christmas I had them both replaced, which was another big scary thing that happened to me because I thought, oh my gosh, both my knees are replaced, how am I going to keep this weight off? You have to pre-plan. You have to know what's coming up, pre-plan, and make sure that you are prepared mentally and physically and have the right foods around and don't have the challenges behind you, and be ready to face it full force. The problem we had recently is COVID. We had no warning, there was no pre-planning, and this was extremely difficult. And those of you out there watching this who are a couple years out like I am, we know this was one of the most difficult things we've ever done. And it was hard. My weight fluctuated. It would go up and down and up and down, but friends, I still weigh myself every day. I know some of you that's not the right thing for you, but for me it is the correct choice. I have to weigh myself every single day. When the whole thing was said and done, I've actually lost 105 pounds. I don't run anymore because I don't have my own knees anymore, but I walk every morning for 4.5 miles, and my lunch break every day, I go on an 8-mile bicycle ride. So I still do my exercising. I still use my Fitness Pro. I still log my food every single day. And one of the most important things that I do is I still go to support meetings. As soon as they are back here in the center, I will be coming. And the only ones I ever had missed before COVID were when I was on vacation. And the other thing you have to do if you want to maintain this, this is not something that you're going to be able to say, oh great, I'm fixed, I'm thin, life will go on. No, you still have to fight. It's not over. And the doctors here, in fact, everybody you talk to is going to tell you, this is a tool. Well, yeah, it is a tool, and I 100% agree with that, but it's a gift. And to me, it was the best gift, one of the best, my children were the best, but it was one of the best gifts I have ever received. And when you have a cherished gift, why would you give it back? This is your one chance in a lifetime to get your metabolism straightened out, to get back down to a weight where you're comfortable and where you're healthy. So if you're a person who is just looking at, do I want to do this right now? Is this the time for me? Only you can decide that. If you aren't ready to say to yourself, I'm going to give 150% to this, and it's going to be a lifetime decision, and I know I'm going to work harder than I've ever worked in my life, then sign up. Get going, get started, get your 3 months or 6 months started. If you're a person who recently had your surgery, you're in the honeymoon, enjoy it, but listen to your doctors, follow your food plan. One thing I tell people when I meet them is, I have not had pasta or alcohol for 4.5 years. And the funny thing about it is, pasta used to be my trigger food, and it was the thing that I just had to have all the time. So when I started putting things back into my diet, I thought, well, I'm just going to wait a while with the pasta because I'm afraid it might set me off again. Well, after a while, I didn't even crave the pasta anymore. And I can go to Olive Garden now, and I can order something that doesn't have any pasta in it, and I'm fine, and all the people at the table can eat their pasta, and it doesn't bother me. But that breadstick makes me crazy. I started putting bread back into my diet, and to this day, I wish I would not have done it, because now bread has turned into one of my trigger foods, so I have to really, really watch what I do with that. So those of you that have just had the diet, or have just had the surgery, stick to that diet. Listen to what your doctors say, because as soon as you get to your target goal, the work is really going to start, because it's not, the weight's going to come off, but you're going to have to make it stay off. And those of you that are veterans and are out years like I am, give yourself some grace. I know you probably screwed up during this pandemic, but get back on the wagon, get right back on. And that's the one thing that I think is a good secret. Get in here. I know that you don't have to come in here as often once you've been around for a while. In fact, I think I only have to come in here 2 times a year. I come in here 3 times a year because I need to check on it, and I still do it. And if my weight is higher than the last time I was in there, I come in with my head down, I'm ashamed, I'm embarrassed, I feel badly about it. Dr. Koo has never yelled at me. I have never gotten in any trouble for it, but it motivates me to go home and get back on the track. And that's what you need to do. When you make those mistakes, when you do things and your weight starts to track back up, start that minute. Don't say, well, I already messed up, I might as well just give up now. Because if you do, you're giving back your gift. And good luck to everybody. If you have any questions, when I see you at a support meeting when we start up again, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it.